Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Attention, I put the lights on because I forgot. Do you hear me? Do you see me? I think this is correct, this should work. Ragazzi, I'm happy. We are not a lot this morning because a lot of people are sleeping. Press conferences because we are playing one time a week. We will not have a lot of time, the press conferences in the evening or quite late, really late in the evening, but we have them quite early, especially when we are playing away from home, like we did against Udinese, like we did now against Empoli, or like we are doing now against Empoli tomorrow, and that's why we are actually starting the press conference at 12 p.m. in the morning. I'm totally confused. I'm totally confused because this morning I was busy with the vacuum of all my house, so I'm a total disaster. I am super tired already. Let me say hello to the people, to Stylerzi, to Elio, to GJustjuve, grande GJustjuve. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Ciao Ismael, ciao Jesus, ciao Ander, ciao Otto, ciao Sebi. You know that I prepared an intro, a small intro, and I totally forgot to start with that. So my intro was, now that the calciomercato is closed, can we finally speak about the field instead of speaking about possible dreams or being frustrated, blah 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 blah. Probably this evening I will come back with a video rating finally the mercato of Juve, and if I have time also rating the top 3 teams that in Italy that did the best mercato and the flop 3 teams that did the worst mercato. But that's another story for the people that are watching in replay. Buongiorno, wake up, take your coffee like I'm doing and put a maximum of like. Never forget the maximum of like. Ciao to the 27,274 Juventini that are member of the channel, subscribe to the channel. We have already this prepared, the press conference room where Max Allegri will join us in 1 minute, and then we'll start immediately with the questions. Will they speak a lot about Mercato? Probably yes. They will ask him, to Max Allegri, if he's satisfied with the team that he has, where he will answer, as I already told you, Mercato was closed since a few days. As I already told you, I am happy with the team that I have. Now we have to focus again on the field, on the 3 points against Empoli, because we already lost our first 3 points of the season against Bologna, something that should not have been happened, especially because we were in our home, and that's important. I can already spoil you, anticipate you the first news of the day. It's that today, this evening at 8:45, Dean Huijsen will play with the next gen, which doesn't mean that he will not be called up for tomorrow. He's young, he has a lot of minutes, but probably we already can know and can already understand that Dean Huijsen will not play as a starter tomorrow in Serie A in the field of Empoli, and that's important. Elio would love to ask a question for Kostic. I believe the question will come. I believe that's a really good one. I believe the question will come. Hey, wait. Let me put my headphones on just to be sure that it's working. No, I think the question will come. Why didn't he play the first 2 minutes? Was it because of the Mercato? I think that will come. I hear the press conference. I hear Max Allegri. We'll check with the press conference and then we will answer all the questions. First questions. One question each, of course. We go. Andrea Colella from Juventus TV is starting with the first question. What are the difficulties for the game of tomorrow? Max Allegri. The dangers of tomorrow are the one that we always have. With Empoli that we look for the first points of their season. We will have to give continuity for the results that we did. We will find a team that will play as it is in the DNA of Empoli. A team that will try to do a solid team. We don't have to underestimate the team of Empoli. I think that's correct. Second question. Fabiana Della Valle, Gazzetta dello Sport. Is the defense the one that you have? The full Brazilian defense? And what about Gatti? Because he didn't play the first 2 games. Is it something tactical or is it something physical that is not ready physically to play these first games? Oh, good question about Gatti. Ciao Cliff, ciao Mohamed Youssef. No, this is not the starting defense. The Brazilian is not the starting defense. We have 6 defenders because I want to also add Dean Huijsen in the 6 center backs we have. And they are all trustable. The first 2 games, Bremer, Danilo, Alexandro started. Tomorrow I have Bremer, Danilo, and I have a doubt about Gatti or Alexandro for tomorrow. So for the first time, he has a doubt for tomorrow, Gatti or Alexandro. Sky Sport, guarda là. Guarda là, Sky Sport. If I go with my memory, I don't remember Max Allegri that is not coming in post games, even after the most difficult losses. I'm asking you, can you explain us why? What is the motivation? Why you were angry and why you didn't come to the microphones? Allegri. No, I was not feeling that well. So I preferred speaking with Landucci, as I always speak. And when he goes into the microphone, it's the same voice. We have one voice. But no problems. And it was the first time it happened in 20 years. So don't worry, but it's also all the week that I'm not feeling 100% well. I'm feeling a bit sick. I'm really sorry. I'm the first one to be sorry that I was not in front of the microphones. But it happens. So let's not make a drama of it, but it will not happen anymore. Ciao Bruno. Fagioli regista. Do you see that he's ready to do it? Can something in the middle change? Attenzione, because he's not speaking about Pogba being a regista albanese, but he's speaking about Fagioli. Max Allegri. Nicolò is a player that is growing in his physical condition, because don't forget that with his surgery, he missed the summer preparation with us. He played not always these 2 games. He missed the friendlies. So I believe that at the end he could become a good regista. But at the moment, Locatelli is a starter that is doing well. And I'm sorry also for the whistle that he received on Sunday when he went out of the field, like Alexandro. 2 players that are trustable, that we can trust on. That as all the players can sometimes do better, can sometimes do less good. But in terms of trustability and also about the performance that they are giving, and what they give on the field, I have absolutely no doubt. So he's speaking actually about Locatelli, Alex, about the whistles. I'm writing down soon after that weekend debrief. And also he's opening the door to a Fagioli that can become in the future a regista. If you want to, you can already start putting in the comments what you believe can be the future of Nicolò. And if you're surprised about hearing Nicolò Fagioli future, in the future, not today, being a regista. Romeo Agresti. Can Cambiaso also play on the right side? And who more than Wea can play that position? Attenzione, because the live that I'm doing with Romeo Agresti, it's already 2 weeks that I'm insisting with Romeo Agresti that the position now with the mercato that we have of Cambiaso can be on the right side. So attenzione, attenzione, because I'm really curious to hear, but I'm thinking that the question from Romeo is a bit influenced about the live that we had. Allegri. On the right side, also McKennie can play. I have to evaluate because it's the start. I need to understand what support then these players can give on the right side when they enter the game. Cambiaso on the right side, yes, he can. Also because Andrea is a player that is entering the mechanism of the team. So for him playing on the left or on the right doesn't change a lot. So he's opening also to Cambiaso that can be a player that can play on the right or on the left without any problem. Suk is saying that Fagioli as a regista, the next Pirlo. Calma, calma, calma.
I found this on the web.
Repubblica, question. Can you give us a bit of an evaluation about the Mercato with everything that you would probably hope and actually didn't happen? Because it's more or less the same team as last year. And what do you think about the other teams and their Mercato? Can you give us the starting, like in Formula 1, the pole position of the Mercato, of the teams after the Mercato? I'm happy that the Mercato is closed, so at least we can now focus already from this evening to the game that is the one of Empoli tomorrow. About Mercato, we shared all what happened with the management, about the exits and the possibilities of people that could come. Changing just for changing makes totally no sense. So going to change players and to go and find players that could possibly improve and increase the performance of the team, well, there were no opportunities. So most of all, with the management and with the input of the club that was keeping a competitive team, but at the same time sustainable team with a lot of players that left the team, I believe a big work has been done. And now we have a team, let's say, good, competitive, with the perspective to believe that Vlahovic, for sure, and we already have the proofs, is already doing better than last year because he's doing physically much better. Chiesa, it's a new year for him. Pogba, we will try to manage him as much as possible to let him play until he reach an optimal physical condition. That the young kids are growing another step, because our objective until last year, our objectives were the ones of reaching as a first step, reaching the top 4. Now our first step, this objective this season, is to arrive at the 30th of December after the game against Roma in our home, to be able to put a line and check where we are in the ranking. Because our objective is to remain in the top 4 or really, really close to the top 4 to be able to play our cards in the second part of the season.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
with don't forgetting that our objective, of course, is to enter in the top 4 again, re-enter in the top 4, because last year, don't forget that on the field we reached that top 4, and next year playing the Champions League. This is I'm also doing what Massimiliano Allegri is doing. He's not feeling 100% well. The pole position of Serie A. I believe that to win the Scudetto this year, you will need between the 86 and 90 points, so which is a lot. Now it's difficult to do the pole position because what is right today is not right tomorrow. So of course Napoli is the favorite because they won the Scudetto. Milan also yesterday did a really good game, but we are just at the beginning, so we will have to be patient, working day by day, concentrating on ourselves, what we have to do to enter in the top 4, because to enter in the top 4 we will have to do something a lot important, because there is Napoli, Inter, Milan, Juve, Atalanta, Lazio, Roma and Fiorentina. I think that in these 8 teams they will be the first 4 teams. Grazie Allegri. Allegri is smart. He gave us the 8 strongest team of the season. Then he's saying, I think that from these 8 teams, they will be the first 4 teams of the Serie A. Grazie. As if Sassuolo was everything can happen, but as if Sassuolo or Benevento or Como could become top 4. Indeed, Stylerzy, give us 20 teams. Grazie, Max. So that's what I told you. The first step is to arrive in December in the best possible conditions. The question from the journalist, my question was also about the Mercato, but you already partially answered, so I want to change my question into, do you think that with the Mercato done, with the team that you have at your disposal, your team is somewhat a team that can arrive in the top 4? Ragazzi, I didn't listen yet to the answer of Max Allegri, but what kind of question is this? What kind of... imagine Max Allegri will tell you... I don't know the answer, but imagine if Max Allegri will now say, no. We are absolutely not a top 4 team. Imagine, after match day 2. So let's listen to the answer. We have a competitive team. I repeat, we are working every single day to look for and to try to improve what our performances are on the field. The players as well, but don't forget that they are opponents. I believe that this year it will be a really balanced Serie A. So entering the top 4 will be a challenge, will be difficult for every single team. Without forgetting that the quote Scudetto, the point that you have to do, watching the strength of the teams, will be between 86 and 90 points. It is normal that if you want to reach Champions League, you will have to do minimal 76 points. 76 points is a lot, huh? A lot. Because I don't know if we reached them last year. We will check a bit later. Question about Szczesny physical condition. How is he doing? And if not, can we see again Perin in the goal? Szczesny will not be there. He will come back after the international break. Attenzione! He's doing better, but not in condition to play. So tomorrow we have Perin in the goal. Tutto Sport, Marco Bo. Attenzione, because we have here a question where Max Allegri is already smiling. What do you want to say to Vlahovic that tomorrow can play in Empoli without the ghost of Lukaku that was always in the shadow during all summer long? And there you have a Max Allegri, without letting the journalist finishing his question, that is already smiling to that answer. Do you see Vlahovic a bit more relaxed also mentally? And if and how from now on until the end of the season he will have to approach the games? So Max Allegri. Dusan, I see that he's doing better because mentally he's more relaxed, because physically he's also in better shape. I see him better in a training session, but then, of course, when strikers are scoring, they are doing much better. They are always doing better when they are scoring. He scored in the first 2 games, and as I told you, in the beginning, during the preparation, I believe that Vlahovic last year, that was not doing well with Pubalgia, scored 9-10 goals in Serie A. 10 goals. So Vlahovic will score his goals. I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed about what his season will be. As Federico, also like Moiskin, like Milik, we have a good team. We have a beautiful assortment of strikers. Of course, it's difficult because having only 1 game a week, there are some players that will be like 1 or 2 games on the bench without entering, even 3 weeks without playing. But we have a common objective, and that's the one of going back to play Champions League next season. Kostic question. Attenzione. Kostic question. As anticipated in the beginning of the live, there was someone that asked if I was in press conference room, I would ask about Kostic. Here is the question. So Kostic that didn't play the first 2 games, was it something physical or was it about the mercato? Answer. About mercato, absolutely not. At Udine, I explained already, because Cambiaso played, because I believe it was a game that was more adapted to him. Last Sunday, I offered again the solution Cambiaso. So then maybe tomorrow he will play as a starter. But Kostic is a player that I trust on, that I count on. A player that last season did 12 assists. He also became better in the shots on target. So I'm quite happy and relaxed. But then again, I repeat, playing only 1 time a week, there will be players that will play less sometimes. But unfortunately, this year, it's like that. Question about Pogba. So the question of the journalist that didn't finish yet is, what about Pogba? Because yesterday there were some voices about Mercato that he missed medical test with Galatasaray, but also we heard some rumors about the Pogba that has chronic problems with his physical condition. Can you explain a bit? Because there were some rumors that were saying that already, again, he could not play for 2-3 weeks. Or will we see really a Pogba that will be really managed to the minimal? Max, Pogba in this moment, I have to manage him indeed, because it's a player that is coming from a huge injury with a year that he was not playing. But last game, he did already a beautiful touch against Bologna, because the pre-assist comes from Pogba to Ealing, so it's come from him. It's a player that when will be at 100%, but also at 70%, it's a player that is totally different than all the other ones. So we are looking to keep him as we see things going. He didn't answer about Galatasaray. He didn't answer about if tomorrow he will be there or not. Pogba, we don't know, ragazzi. Pogba, we don't know. He dribbled alla Douglas Costa. again, more or less the same question regarding the team that can win Serie A. I repeat, the favorite is always the one that won last year. Then, as I already said to an interview to DAZN, Napoli has a really important player like Osimhen that can change the balance of a game. So Napoli remains favorite. Milan and Inter are two important teams for the victory of Scudetto. So we will have to be really strong and good to arrive to December in the best physical condition and also with the points. Because don't forget, there are always a lot of surprises in a 38 games league. About changing of formation, changing of a lot of starting players. At the moment, we remain like that because it's important that the players that are starting, they are giving us the max they can for a maximum of time. And then it's true that with 5 subs, with 5 possible changes, these players that are entering the game, we have to understand who they are at the moment and able to impact the game, because when they enter, they should be able as well to give us the maximum. Nicolo Balice, calciomercato.com, and La Stampa. Fagioli, you said that in the future can become a regista, but today, who is the alternative to Locatelli in that zone of the field? Oh, attenzione, because the answer is surprising me. The answer of Max is, well, in front of the defense, at the moment, Rabiot could play there. I already let Miretti play 3-4 games. So we have players that can play there. Then, if one day Locatelli will not be available, we can also play with a 2-man midfield. Rabiot. Ma. Good day to everyone. Ciao Max Allegri, grazie. It was really a pleasure to have you here. You know that this setup will change also, will change as well. We are working to improve it with some other design, but you know that I like a lot. I really like a lot being here, you know, in the home of the press conference room, able to ask some questions to Max that is there answering. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you like it. Last time I used the white background. This time I used the right. So we'll try to change it, to respect the bianconeri setup. Oh, 25 minutes press conference room. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you enjoyed it. I did, personally. I did. There were a lot of topics. The only question that he dribbled, more or less, consciously or unconsciously, this is something that I don't know at the moment, was about Paul Pogba. Will he be there or not tomorrow? If he's there tomorrow, we can say all the voices were absolutely wrong. If he's not there tomorrow, we can start asking ourselves questions. Because I'm curious also to see the images of the training sessions of yesterday, of today, to understand if Paul is there or not. Because we saw him in the beginning of the week without his knee brace. So Paul Pogba for me is a big question. Elio is saying that the black is more beautiful. The white is too bright for a Ryzen cross. So there, okay, we can. I like the black more. People are saying let's go with the dark mode. Dark mode is for the guys always. BT. Indeed. Okay, let's go with the black one in the future. Even if again I need to pay attention to some details that we can do better. We can do better. We have to do better. We have always to improve. Oh, ragazzi, as always, the big question, and again, thank you to my buddy Andar Sofian, because you see it here. If we go... No! I closed it. Wait, let's go back. Let's go back. Andar Sofyan, a fantastic person that tagged me here with the retweet of the press conference, also sharing it. You know how much this is appreciated to help also the channel. So grazie Andar, really extremely appreciated. All your support is just incredible. Oh, ragazzi, the question that I'm always asking to start with, what is the take that you will keep with yourself between the doubt about Gatti Alexandro, between Locatelli Alexandro, the whistles for them, between Fagioli future possible regista, between Rabiot being a regista if Locatelli would be absent, or going to two-man midfield, about the number of points for the Scudetto. I believe that Max Allegri gave me his sickness, because before the live I was perfectly healthy. Before him, speaking about the 76 points that are the quote of the Champions League, Szczesny that will not be there, the minimal rotation and players that will probably not be happy because we are playing only once a week, about Kostic. So a lot of topics, really a lot of topics. I know, BT, they will come. The plans will come. I don't know, because in press conference room, I don't know how many plans there are. Oh, Mark Uno, saying, I think that tomorrow Gatti will play instead of Alex. For the first time, is putting also Alexandro in doubt. I tell you, and I told you so many times, in the beginning of the season, until Weah is loading, after him starting 2 games, if we see Gatti, it is because Cambiaso will play on the right. And then Kostic will play on the left with Danilo on the left and and Gatti on the right. If this happens, ragazzi, that means that Beppe is a fantastic tactician, or it means one that is able to understand Max Allegri more than anyone on earth, more than himself. I believe that I understand Max Allegri even more than what he thinks he knows. We have only 41 likes, and this is not a beautiful result, so I think that we can improve there. I'm waiting for your takes. The Rabiot one and the question about right wing were important for Elio. It's time for Gatti and Kostic, and that is already going towards that direction. I am a UI designer. I know my target. Oh, BT, you are a UI designer. I absolutely have no idea what it means, but I like it. And you never offered your help for increasing the layouts of the channel. BT, contact me. Give us the feminine touch on the channel. BT, Barbara. Oh, UI designer, and in 3 years, user interface designer. Mamma mia. User interface. Thank you, Mohammed Youssef. No, you are doing fine. BT is looking, you know, when no, you are doing fine, you know what it means, huh? No, you are doing fine is Beppe, I like you, leave me alone. I have other things to do. Grazie, BT. Grazie, BT. I don't take it that much as a compliment. I take it as a polite way of saying, Beppe, leave me alone. Grande, at least it's a beautiful answer, political answer. I think that you are ready to do press conferences instead of Max Allegri. People are laughing, but I'm not stupid, huh? I'm not stupid. Oh, so, there is always... political answer. Look here. Next week I put the profile picture of BT. The political beautiful answer to refuse something. Okay. Now that we spoke about user interface, let's go back. You're speaking about plans and about BT, but I want to know your takes, what you take back. Our midfield is already not that great, so playing with 2-man midfield can worsen the balance of the team. You know what is a bit surprising for me, but maybe tomorrow he can surprise us, huh? And I tell you, is not mentioning for the 3rd time in a row Nicolosi Caviglia. Nicolosi Caviglia that really wanted to stay at Juve, that also Juventus believed in, that we saw doing a fantastic summer mercato. And when we are speaking about, we didn't speak about Mezzala, today we spoke about really regista. But Max Allegri is saying, surprising all of us. Rabiot could possibly play there. Then if Locatelli is not available, Fagioli could be in the future regista. Fagioli could have been a possibility. Rabiot is surprising me, even if I saw him in parts of the game going in that, but it's parts of the game, you know, to help the team in difficulty. Yes, all of what you want to. But then instead of mentioning Fagioli, because he even mentioned Miretti, that is a player that we saw. Max Allegri always played a bit more offensively. But then at a certain moment, maybe Max Allegri thought, thinking with himself at home with a whiskey in the evening, thinking about the team. The guy is never scoring, is the most unlucky player on target that we have. So maybe if he has not the ability to score at the moment, let's play him behind. But you know, it's a player that he tested for 1 year long. Offensively, even if it's true what he's saying, I already tested him for 3-4 years in that position. I remember Miretti playing in that position, not really in 22-23, but in 21-22. Do you remember when we were discovering a Miretti with the first team? At the end of the season where the games were done, when everything has been said, when he was also starting as a player, as a starter, we already saw Miretti in that position. So it's true what he said. The memory of Max is still working because I remember these games. But he didn't mention Nicolosi, Caviglia in that position. So that means or he's seeing him as a mezzala, really, or he doesn't believe in him more than what we think. So it's something that we have to understand. I would love to see a few minutes of Nicolosi tomorrow. But of course it will depend of the team, what result we are at the 70th minute. Ciao Micho, greetings from Slovenia. I've been a Juve fan for 30 years. Micho, if you are able to speak with Seferin, telling him to stop speaking about Juventus when he's there in your country speaking with the old lady that you remember he did an interview with, saying that the old lady was not that happy with the Super League. If you are able to reach out to Seferin to stop chasing Juve, to stop speaking bad about Juve, that would be really appreciated. Micho, you would be really useful if you do this. Bit of work with me, loved, laughing my ass off, and that's about the UI. Beppe, do you think Pogba can become the best midfielder in Serie A again? I think that Pogba is the best midfielder of Serie A, but a Paul Pogba that is able to play. And again, this is one of my other curiosity on top of Nicolosi. What about Pogba? Again, if tomorrow he's not in the squad list, no, today, because we are traveling probably today to go to Empoli, so we will know late in the afternoon the squad list. If we don't see Pogba is a mix between Paul and Pogba. So if we don't see Pogba, I would be a bit worried because I was positively surprised to see him already playing in the second match day. If after 30 minutes, how many did he play? 20, 30? After 30 minutes included injury time, he would already not be able to go. That's not good. That's not good, and then it means it's really difficult. Mark, to be fair, the journalist questions could have been much better. A lot of repetition and no one asking difficult straight question. But I don't know also why we should go with journalists that are always, because this is also a comment out of always putting the coach in difficulty. It's not like a game where a coach is there in a court. It's not Johnny Depp against Amber, what's her name? Amber Boo. But it's not Johnny Depp against Amber, and that's not what a press conference is about. We are speaking about football, how we prepare a game. I think that this time the questions were less repetitive, but they spoke about a lot of diversity in the questions, about the defense, about Paul Pogba, about Kostic, about Szczesny. It's true that I miss a bit about the starting lineups. about players that could play tomorrow. This is something that they were doing a bit more in the past, where, the question like, can you give us at least 3 starters of tomorrow? Then, if he's telling us Perin, Rabiot, and Federico Chiesa, we still have a lot of doubts about the team. But these are the questions I was missing. Honestly, today I have not a lot of things to complain. Yes, I agree that in general, I'm also asking for better questions, less repetitive questions. But I'm not going towards you're obliged to put the coach in difficulty in an angle like at the box and going with we will punch you, because that's not the goal of a press conference. Huh? I think he can mentor the future best midfielder in Serie A. Yeah, but that's not why we are paying Pogba. That he can do it, yes, but Pogba needs to perform first. Sorry, I missed the beginning of the podcast. Beppe, do you think we can win the Scudetto this year? But in press conference, I don't answer these kind of questions, but I can, of course, if you ask me. If we are comparing the specifically teams that we have now after the Mercato with Milan and Inter. I will first answer what Max said. Max never spoke about winning the Scudetto with certainty. These are also not the words of Scanavino. These are also not the words of Giuntoli. So no one spoke about a certainty to win the Scudetto, okay? And that's important that we are repeating it. Then, does that mean that we will do an anonymous Serie A? Absolutely not, because Max repeated it last time, and I think it was really important. Juventus, like every time, they start every single competition that they're playing in to do the best they can. And what is the best that Juventus should target for? Of course, is going to the final line, fighting as much as being competitive and trying to compete for the Scudetto, trying to win that Scudetto. But I believe that also when we had Trezeguet, Del Piero, Il Puma, Emerson, when we had Buffon in the goal, when we had in the defense Montero, Ferrara, I believe it has always been the same. I don't think that something is changing in terms of perception about how you start the season. There is never a guarantee or never someone that will tell you, we have to win the Scudetto, we have to win the Champions League, we have to win the league, Liga, Premier League, and we are obliged to win it. I don't believe in that, because you know it. A season you have 38 games nowadays, and in the 38 games, everything can happen. Again, if tomorrow, and I hope not, because I never wish any injury, but if tomorrow Milan has an injury with Leao, no, let's make it more simple. Yesterday, you have Roma that is playing a disaster, and we will come back on Roma because I have some things to say about Roma, Mourinho and their team. But if yesterday you have a full form Dybala, Aouar that is able to play more than 20 minutes. You have a Lukaku from the start. You have a Pellegrini from the start. You have Spinazzola that is starting. You have a total different Roma, for example, that the scandalous disaster Roma that we saw yesterday. Looks like Mourinho will go to the microphone asking that the opponent's teams, until they have a full form team, are playing with 10. Otherwise, they can't play. Renato Sanchez and so on. So you see, a 38 games league, you have so many variants, so many things that can influence positively, negatively. If Milan is playing against the full form Roma at match day 15, for example, well, it's totally different than the one that played yesterday. So I don't know. But Max said, our objective in December will be there, or attached to the top 4, or in the top 4, to start with the second part of the season, to push. That's our first objective, so step by step. What I believe is that we have to take advantage, honestly, personally, we have to take advantage of the beginning of the season, where Atalanta, Fiorentina, Inter, Milan, all the big teams will play twice a week from September on. And that's where we have to take advantage, because they will start being a bit more tired. They will have a lot of things that they can't play with their best 11 because they are obliged to rotate. Some teams will prefer to play with their best team in Serie A. Some teams best team in European competition, that's where we have to take advantage, because don't forget that from January on, some teams will not play European competition anymore, and that benefit that we have of the beginning of the season will totally disappear. And that's why I'm really thinking that it will be really important to take advantage as much as possible in the beginning. And that's why Max is going for it. Then, on paper, Milan did a fantastic, beautiful mercato. Inter reinforced themselves. Napoli didn't change a lot, but was it really obliged? Not really, but they did what they had to do. Lazio, on paper, they lost Milinkovic-Savic. So it's indeed the slogan of Serie A, where they are saying the most unpredictable league. I totally agree with that. When they are saying the most unpredictable league ever, I don't agree. But with the unpredictability of the league, I agree, so it will be difficult. Do I think that we have the best team on paper to win the Scudetto? No, I don't think that. I would be really unrealistic to say we have the team to win the Scudetto, but I wish we can. I wish we do it. I wish we start also with the small changes that we had in players. I'm speaking about Weah, Cambiaso, with some young, fresh legs, and also reducing the age, that we have more physical condition. I think that we are obliged to try. Then will we do it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Why am I surprised? Well, because when you have someone that is working in one position, why would you change him? Also because we have the qualities of Nicolussi, we have a Fagioli maybe that can play in that position. If you play with three, I would not, when you're playing with three, if I show you the tactical pad, let's go with the tactical pad. I know that it's something that I'm paying for, and then I will go to Lucy. I will go to Lucy that made a donation, and I want to answer. So give me a second, Lucy. I will come back to your donation and your question. But if we go towards the tactical pad, something that is quite appreciated from you, we don't care at the moment about the players. It's just that, let's say, okay, I put Weston McKennie out. Let's put, at the moment, Fagioli. Okay, let's put Fagioli. Where is Fagioli with the number 21? Here. If Locatelli is not there, okay, and you replace him with one player, let's say Nicolussi, okay, what does that mean? That you are keeping stability with Rabiot, we are keeping stability with Fagioli, and the only change is Nicolussi, or whoever is playing there, Pogba, Nicolussi, whoever, okay? But if next to Locatelli you are changing, and Rabiot, and let's say you put a Miretti, where is Miretti with the number 20? Ah, cazzo, it disappeared, Rabiot disappeared, okay, here. You are doing not only one, but you are doing two changes, and Miretti and Rabiot. So you put in difficulty the one that is playing here on the left. So you see, with Rabiot changing from here for here, you are doing actually forcing your team to adapt with 2/3 of your midfield. That's why I am surprised about that. You see? Lucy, thank you for our donation, Lucy. Lucy, that is saying, is this reason for us to worry this early? I would not worry today because, again, if I didn't like the first 30, no, if I didn't like from the 5th until the 35th minute, so that big block of 30 minutes against Bologna, not at all, I saw a different Juventus. Even if we were not able to score, it's not true because we scored two. But even if we were not able to win, even if there was a step back from the Udinese game, I saw a different ambition of the team, a different hunger from the team. I saw some different patterns from the team. I saw improvements, not yet the improvements at the level that I want them to be. But don't forget that we are coming from really far. We are coming from a team that last year was insulted, from a team that was doing extremely poor, from a team that had a lot to work on. So I don't expect, from, how can I say, from something extremely ugly overnight to become extremely beautiful with the same actors, because we are speaking about the same players, we are speaking about the same coach. So we are speaking about the same things that we expect to flip from one side to the other immediately. For me, important was the answer of the players. But even the last 10 minutes of the first half against Bologna were, in terms of behavior, attitude, already different. Then it was, in the last 10 minutes, it was a reaction of anger, which is good, but it's not fantastic, because a reaction because of anger, it's a 5-10 minutes reaction. It's not something that is planned. It's not something that is calculated. But then I saw a team that comes on the field against Bologna in that second half, where we see already a total different Juve. So I would not worry today. But of course, if we lose against Empoli, then I start to worry a bit. If after the international break we lose against Lazio, I start to worry a bit more. Because it's true that, as I told you, the benefit that we have to play one competition only could possibly disappear. Milan, for example, that is playing fantastically well, they will have probably a spending of energy that will be quite high. In a crazy group with Dortmund, Newcastle, and Paris Saint-Germain, a lot of people see them immediately being second or first in that group. But pay attention, because if they don't, they can be back with one competition only, and with the crazy depth they have on their bench, I don't know where it will be. I will come back on your questions, but let me first recap in a single second what Max Allegri said. The first questions were about Gatti or Alexandro. It was not really about Gatti Alexandro, it was about the starting defense. Will the Brazilian defense, the 100% Brazilian defense, be the starting Brazilian defense forever in Serie A? Where he said, no, we have 6 defenders where I am really trusting on. I count them then. We have 6 center defenders, where I include also Huysen, that Max Allegri has difficulties to pronounce. But he said tomorrow, Bremer, Danilo are starting. My only doubt is about Gatti or Alexandro. So we see a possibility now to have a Gatti that could possibly play tomorrow. It's a possibility, it's not a certainty. Then about Locatelli Alexandro, he said that he was sad about the whistle for them when they went out of the field. He said, without lying, that like every single human or like every single player, players can do better performance, less good performances, admitting that these 2 players didn't play well against Bologna. But he was really sad that in our home, when they go out, they receive whistles. Because that's not the way at match day to support your team. That's my opinion, honestly. Something not really fantastic to start with, especially in our home, where most of the time is silent, and then we are taking excuses, yes, but we don't have the ultra that are starting the chants and they are starting to organize the tifo, but the tifo is super organized when they have to whistle a player. So why are they organized to whistle a player, to insult a player, to start with bah, ooh, ah, ooh, ee, ooh, sh, ooh? Why are we able to all do these kind of rumors and gimmicks, and why are we not able to just support them in a moment? And that you can't start sings and songs and so on. I can understand it. Applauses you can start with. So then he spoke about the possibility of having Fagioli in the future, not today, but in the future as a regista. McKennie is a player that can play on the right side, but also Cambiaso, were the answer to the question, can Cambiaso play on the right side question from Romeo Agresti. He said, I need to understand what players can give when they enter in the second half. What McKennie, being honest, is a player that I would have loved to see out of Juventus 23-24, but the 2 games that he's entering is doing quite well. What about Pogba? Well, that's the only question that he really dribbling a question about Pogba and his physical state, saying that at 70% Pogba is a total different player than the rest of Serie A, but it's a player that at the moment we have to manage. I don't know if he will be there or not. Then he spoke about Szczesny that will not be there tomorrow. He will be ready again on the field after the international break because he's doing better but not ready yet. Quota Scudetto, the point that you have to make to win the Scudetto this year between the 86 and 90 points. And we know that Max Allegri is a coach that in terms of number is not missing a lot of times. He said the quote Scudetto, the quote to enter the top 4 is 76 points. Kostic, he already explained why he didn't enter against Udinese and also Bologna, but it could be that tomorrow he will be there. Don't forget that with 1 game a week, you have less possibilities for players to rotate and play games. That was the press conference in a recap of 1 minute. Thank you for your donation, Mohamed Youssef, grande fratello. We really need to see systematic way of going out with the ball. All the team need to memorize each other. This is no longer an experience-based team. Yes, I agree. Then, of course, you are influenced by the opponents that you're playing against, because playing against Empoli is not the same as playing against Milan. It's not the same as playing against Napoli. It's not the same to play against Bologna. But it's true that instead of adapting every time to every single team, we should also start to dominate in terms of this is our play style. So I totally agree with Mohamed Youssef on that one. I already saw some patterns. You know what could be one of the problems is that because of lack of time, because there were so many to adjust, because we were not ready yet to understand how many competition we will play and so on, probably in our magic back of tactical patterns, of offensive patterns, ideas, and so on, probably we have a limited solution at the moment. And limited solutions are already more than no solutions, that no patterns, but still probably limited. Like, for example, last time Thiago Motta was able to block Juventus in that first half on the left, on the right, and we couldn't think about a vertical pattern, a vertical idea. Our midfield was a disaster, and probably we were not able, before halftime, interverting Rabiot and Locatelli, we were not able to give a significant impact in change of playing with the same way, with the same men in the first half. So I agree with that one. Let me say first, sorry to Softic that last time in live was speaking about Allegri, and even if I still don't agree with Softic, probably I was a bit too nervous and I exaggerated in saying that I was pissed off with Softic. So my bad, my excuses. Softic, you know it on the channel, you can say whatever you want to. It's just that I was not happy also because we lose 2 points after match day 2 against Bologna, and sometimes I have to also control myself in accepting also people that are totally against or that are pointing fingers only at Max Allegri, which again is not my opinion. I think that is not correct, but anyway, so sorry for that, my brother. I'm really sorry. Ryzen Cross, grazie Ryzen, really appreciated, buddy. Fact, Beppe, if the fans are the 12th man, supporting is our job on the field. So some fans need to whistle themselves for their bad performance. Well, I believe, attenzione, I believe that a fan, a supporter, is paying and has the right to not appreciate the show that is offered them, has the right to not be happy with the performance that is given to them, that has the right to whistle a performance, a player, I have no problem with that because I think it's correct. You can't just, sorry, blindly, bravo, everything is doing well. When at home, you are not playing for 30 minutes after the recent seasons that were absolutely not great. I believe you have the right to whistle. But again, I think that timing is important. 90 minutes, you are not happy. You can whistle the team, the performance. You can start saying, I am not happy. But during the 90 minutes, where everything is still possible, it's important to cheer. It's important to ask the players, yes, you can do it, to give them the confidence that we are believing in them. Because if we don't believe in them, how can we ask themselves in belief? If we are already the first pessimistic, letting our voice distract our players, because if a player is not playing well, he knows that he's not playing well. He knows about it. He knows about it. The coach is already telling him, and because of the distance of the field, because of normally the noise, he's obliged to raise his voice, saying, no, 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 no. The player is already influenced. I'm not doing well. So he's already putting himself in doubt. He's already not believing in himself. If on top of that, the players are starting, no, the supporters are starting, ooh, the player, he doesn't want the ball anymore. He prefers not having the ball. Alessandro Matri, that was yesterday in the Continassa, in a fantastic interview when he was not playing at Juve, but in another team, Sassuolo, I believe, or I don't remember, he said, after the retirement of his career, he said, at a certain moment, I didn't even want to receive the ball because I was scared as a striker. I was happy when the ball was going towards another player of my team because I was scared to miss. This is the reality, ragazzi. Then after the game, you whistle them. During the game, you encourage because that's important. Then you have some players, they don't care. They make abstraction, but how many of them are able to do that? Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a player like that. Of course, he's affected, but he doesn't care. Bob Bovieri is like that. You have some players like that they don't care. They are not influenced. They focus on their game. But not all of them are making abstraction of that. So for me, it's important. To, during the 90 minutes, you support. It's like last year. We whistle De Sciglio before he enters. But what conditions are we giving them? So yes, I agree that sometimes we have to, like Rasenkross is saying, we have to whistle at ourselves because we are not helping. We are not helping in this kind of situation. That's what I think. Then again, the right to whistle, yes, but when is the timing? It's like Federico Chiesa not doing the pass at the right moment, not doing the right choice at the right moment. Fantastic that he's taking his chance to go on target. Fantastic that he's trying to give the assist through the spaces. But if it's the wrong moment, it's the wrong moment. So we have to pay attention. That's what I believe. Then again, what I think. Too many people just come to see moments, to whistle instead of cheering out loud. This is sad. But especially in a stadium that I'm really sad about it. From the moment that we whistle the start of the game, it's super silent because of external problems with a triangle where everyone has their share of responsibility. La Digos, that is an external kind of police. It's not really a police, but an external police that is really strong on the Juventus supporters more than with other supporters. The supporters, Ultra, and Juventus as a club. So you have a triangle of responsibilities where our stadium, because of the three components, is sad. And so if on top of that you start with whistles and this and that, what I think, Beppe Dance, you think that I'm Beppe Dance, you think that I'm on TikTok, like oh, corn. Hey, I'm not doing these kind of things, ragazzi. I don't know. You know these kind of viral trends on TikTok? They are sending, like emotes. They are paying, these kind of, I don't know how they are paying for emotes. They come on the screen and then every single emote, there is a gesture. Corn. One day I should do like that, something like that on YouTube. But not today, because we have some important things to speak about. Serious things. Beppe being NPC. Yeah, that's the word. NPC lives. I will not lie. I already tried. At home, I already tried because I like these kind of new trends, even if it makes totally no sense and I can't understand. But sometimes, I'm on TikTok, I am checking and so on, and then I'm fascinated by how many people are watching for so long because it makes totally no sense. But anyway, things in the world, sometimes things are not making sense. Man, I love Matri, 2 shirts with his name hanging here at home. I had the luck to speak with Matri. I don't know if you were able to see it or not. When I met Matri, look at what I did to Matri. So you can see it here, what I did to Matri.
Ci ha fatto un enorme piacere.
You see, the famous celebration, I was able to do it. Live with Alessandro Matri, that you see, he had something better to do with his camera. But anyway, fantastic moments to meet Alessandro Matri. Juve win incoming for Sal. They make so much of this. You will make more money than your whole career. Who knows? Who knows? Beppe only dance where there is a live goal. That's true, Andar. No, but I come back on the discussion before switching argument. Yesterday, you know that I started again with training kids. I'm a second coach, so I'm not the first coach because I don't have the time to do it. And when you are going with a commitment, it's important to keep the commitment. But yesterday, because we are coaching kids from 7, 8 years old, because they are the under 9, so 7 they are about to become 8 and 8 years old. Yesterday this one of the coaches, because I was the coach, that is quite severe, quite demanding, and he's pushing them to the limits. And then at a certain moment you have a kid that is starting to cry because he's not used to it, and because in every exercise that he was doing, and it's not a bad player, it's a good player, but every single exercise that they were doing, I don't know, because maybe it was the first day of back to school, they were a bit tired, I don't know, but he was not doing objectively really great. So he received some, try to do this better, you have to be better in this, you are not doing great that exercise, and at a certain moment he's starting to cry because it's a human. So humans need also some bad comments, but also at a certain moment some encouragement, some rewarding. When a kid is doing something great, I am the kind of coach that is applauding, that is already putting the hand like that, so that they give me the 5, so they have that recognition also when they are doing good thing. Because the people, that's the nature of the people. It's like at school. At school, how many times is your teacher taking you out of the class to say, I'm proud of you today. You were attentive, you were paying attention, you are participating, you had great answers today, you were leading the atmosphere in the class. Never a kid from 9, 10, 12, 15, whatever, is taking out of the class to say you are doing well. Never. When are they? Or maybe in the agenda, the notes, writing to the parents, I'm quite proud of this month because your kid was doing fantastic. Never. They are doing it every time when they are doing bad. A note for the parents, I did bad, or can you come to the school because we have to speak about, and can you this, and can you, not good, you are punished, you are out of the class. Not good. Then I have to also say that sometimes you don't have to go to the other side, because I know that now they are trying to work on it, and they work with you were great, here a star. You were good today, here another star. But the problem is that it's not equal, because they feel a bit, the teacher feeling a bit, strange, so they are try to give the stars to the kids so that everyone has a start. No, you have to be objective. But anyway, now I want to change argument. That's the thing that I wanted to say. We are in closing time, so I take 2-3 more questions, then I close, because I need to go under the shower. You can imagine how much. Mamma mia! No, it's not. I'm joking. But I still have to go under the shower. Rise and cross, because maybe then my wife, she will say we have to go out. Rise and cross, Beppe, thank you for the donation, Rise and cross. Beppe, I spoke with Alessia and we both agreed that maybe one day we can have a meet and greet with you. Maybe in Torino by the stadium. I already met Alessia the first time I went with socials, I believe. No, it was I don't remember. But I met her before I started my channel, before she started to draw. So I already met her, but it would be nice. I'm thinking to go the first time back to Torino. I'm thinking to go, because then I need the agreement of Juventus and so on and so on. End of October. I'm planning to go. Not sure, so don't take your your plane and don't take your travels. But let me check. I will try to tell you because I had one game in mind. End of October at home. Against, I think Verona, but let me check. Fixtures of Juve, end of October. Juve Verona. I was thinking to go on the 29th of October, even if the dates needs to be confirmed. Could be the 28th, could be the 30th of October. But anyway, in that weekend, could be. But again, I am not sure. But if I do, I will anticipate it, and then we can do a meet and greet. I would love to. Thank you, Ryzen. Ciao Alahamam. Alahamam, thank you for the donation, my friend. He's saying, hi bro, I don't care who's the coach. I don't care who's on the bench. I am a Juve fan and I will always be. Let's support them. It's enough what UEFA did. Love your team, guys. Juve, forza Juve, per demote. Ala. I can't agree more. I can't agree more with that one. I told you, and I have no problem saying it. I was thinking that Max would not have continued with Juve in 23-24. I was even saying that for me the best solution would have been to replace Max. Solution not financially or because I don't know, but in terms of coach, in terms of drastic change to cut with the past, also because I said and I anticipated and I knew it that at the first time that we would lose points, I didn't say lose the game, lose points, the humor of the fans would collapse totally, would have been a total disaster, because we didn't cut with last season, but we are in that continuity. And we are not able objectively to see what are we doing well. Is it the same draw of last season or is it this or not? But from the moment that it has been reconfirmed, oh ragazzi, basta, let's start, let's see, forza Juve. And again, I think that people, they underestimate the facts, because it's easy to say now, bravo Milan, you signed whoever, you did the best mercato ever. Can I go and check and tell you what was the mercato of Milan? Wait, give me a second and I will tell you. Because I have them here. Mercato Milan. Let me go. Mamma mia. They are putting an 8 in terms of rating to Milan, 8, Gazzetta dello Sport, and then I see that Milan, I will tell you, can I go with a zoom? Mercato Milan, Renders, Loftus-Cheek, Pulisic, Sportiello, Romero from Lazio, Okafor, Chukwueze, Musa, Pellegrino, Jovic. Oh, ragazzi, they signed a lot of players. This is, again, Because the Tonali sales, yes, but it's mainly because of Juventus, because of UEFA, because of Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, they lost their Champions League qualification. Otherwise, Milan were fifth. Milan were fifth. Never forget that. Never forget that. When I'm seeing Milan playing against Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, and Newcastle, I am pissed off because we should have been there. On the field, we should have been there. How disastrous we were, we should have been there. And probably today we would have spoken about another mercato for Juve, or at least a mercato for Juve that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Today probably we would have a right wing player on top of Weah. Today probably would have gone with not Alexandro, but another player on the left side of that center defense. Maybe today we're speaking about a four-man defense. Don't forget that, please. Then, facts are facts. Today, we didn't do any mercato. Why is Bremer playing in the middle? Jay, we all know his performance best on the right side. No, I don't agree. Bremer played in the middle at Torino, where he delivered the best performance of his career until now, where he was also elected best defender of Serie A 21-22. Yeah. Last year, when Bonucci was there, he played a bit first in a four-man defense. It was a disaster on the left. Do you remember that game against Sampdoria that we did 0-0? Is still giving me nightmares because he couldn't play with his left foot. Disaster. He always had that extra moment to put him there. So on the left, forget about it in a 4 or 3-man defense. On the right, he can play a bit better, but that's not his main position. That's absolutely not his main position. According to me, then can he play there in necessity? Yes. But according to me, no. For me, the best position is there in the middle. Even if Softic, I have to say that I didn't like the preseason and start of the season of Bremer. I didn't like it. If Zirkzee, with all the respect, and I'm sure he will do a beautiful career, with all the respect, if Zirkzee has all the freedom of the world, then it's true also that Bremer needs to defend not only on the opponents, but also to Alexandro. But not only that, if Zirkzee has all the space in the world, we have a problem. So, we have a problem. Look, my favorite defense would be today, Danilo on the left, Gatti on the right, Bremer in the middle. Or in the future, with the players we have, maybe Huijsen on the left, Danilo on the right, Bremer in the middle. That would be... but the 6 we have are difficult, because I don't believe that we will see ever this season Huijsen, Gatti and Bremer together. 2 will always play Danilo and Bremer, except of, hopefully not, injuries. Lil G, but last season Bremer to me was he was solid. It was solid, but there was a part of the season where he had some difficulties. Okay, ragazzi, 1 hour 18. Last question and then we close. Give me a question or whatever you want to. Maybe we can go towards the starting lineup that we predict. So Perin is a certainty tomorrow. Again, ragazzi, I will go with this one. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think that Cambiaso up. I have just a doubt here. That's my only doubt. But you know what? I will risk Miretti tomorrow. That's the lineup I have. Ciao Calcio Ben. Do we agree with that one? Do we agree with that one, guys? Or you think I'm crazy? That's the one I think we will see tomorrow. Calcio Ben agrees. Indeed, Mirete might start instead for Stavros. Ryan Cross, do you think we will see a Juve player with a hat-trick this year? No. No. BT agrees. I think ratio. Cazzo di linguaggio. I don't understand what this means. I think ratio. You are not on Twitter, Sal. Okay. Yeah, that could be the one. I confirm this one. Boom. It's confirmed. Basta. And now, sotto la doccia, like Fabio Caressa said to Zinedine Zidane when he received that red card against Italy in his last ever game. Sotto la doccia means under the shower. Not because I received a red card, but because hygiene is important. Ciao Sal, yeah, sorry, wrong message. Indeed, you thought that you were on Twitter. Ciao Sal, ciao Dimansi, ciao Sebi, ciao Softitch, ciao Rise and Cross. What is the planning? Maybe, if I come back early enough, I want to do a video about the rating of the Mercato. If not today, it will be tomorrow, or maybe after match day 3. Maybe, because next week we have a lot of time and we have nothing to speak about. So, yeah, because today, which are the games that I want to see at 6:30? We have today we have Bologna Cagliari. Who cares? Udinese Frosinone. I want to see Sule, Caio Jorge, and Barenecea. And in the evening, mamma mia, Napoli Lazio. What a game! What a game! What a game! Hopefully a draw, 0-0. Is watch along in English tomorrow? No. On the Juve channel this year, at least for the beginning of the season, we want to give continuity to English. See you later. Ciao ragazzi. Ciao for